Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Now let's finally discuss the platform overview. Let's take a platform overview and let's understand how things are in terms of when we talk of this platform. Datorama uses three parts we have segregated into in Datorama. Basically, powerful business information married with easy to use analytics showing visualization. Like we have a visualization generator which basically keeps on suggesting like these are the widgets you can use and these are the advanced parts of the business that you can go ahead. That's basically the three parts of the business. What it does is it helps you put all your data at one place and helps you create the widgets. We have talked of widgets, right? We will talk of widgets. Widgets are important, and we will spend quite a long time with widgets at the end, definitely. But then we will spend quite a time with widgets because we need to understand how widget works. How? What are the types of widgets? Where do we need the widget? How do we need the widget? And what are the ways of configuring the widgets? What are the various options available? How do we make it look better? I know that's pretty exploratory. That's pretty much it. You need to explore from your side as well. But definitely, once you know that, what are the options are available in a certain widget settings, I'm sure, things are going to be smooth for you. Say you have a group of people. Datorama helps you share data across with your co-workers because you can collaborate on a workspace model. You can collaborate on a workspace level whereby you see, you are working on, say, this part of the data, your friend is working on a search part of the data. And then when you are doing the visualizations, you're finding insights, you're finding optimizations. You can collaborate with your co-workers together, and together you guys can accomplish. Datorama allows you to do that because then Datorama gives you workspace level accesses whereby there is a workspace in which you can go ahead, plant your data, and everyone from the team can. And then, together you can create data visualization and story, which will help you accomplish stuff. Datorama has advanced visualizations. You can go ahead and look at your revenue. You can go ahead and look at your sales scores, your ROIs. It has widgets, which basically gives you a geographical view whereby how did your media cost or how is your spend spread across the various countries, continents, or whatever the targeted areas are. And you can have the advanced visuals in Datorama. You can share reports with your peers and you can optimize your campaigns. Datorama comes with three parts. There are three parts of Datorama that basically are the stepping stones when you are in the tool. Namely, we call it connect and mix, analyze and act and visualize. Connect and mix, basically, as the name suggests, and I'm sure you can understand that connect and mix is nothing but connecting your data and its various integration aspects. Analyze and act is the mid form whereby you're harmonizing your data, you're analyzing the data, you are creating things which basically help you analyze the integration and before you visualize the data. It helps you to analyze if I have my data streams correctly, if the data is flowing incorrectly, if the integration level harmonizations are done correctly or not, on and forth. That helps you with analyze and act helps you do that. And then there is a tab called visualize, which basically helps you create visuals across data. What does connect and mix do? Connect and mix helps you to link data sources, classify and manipulate data sources, and do the various. Harmonization begins from the start in Datorama, whereby whenever you are integrating your data sources, from that level itself the harmonization begins. And that basically is like how you classify your data, how you manipulate your data, that is through connect and mix. Analyze and act helps you create actions, generate reports, pivot tables as well, but then pivot tables are accessible from the connect and mix data streams to set business goals, etc. Visualize helps you create widgets, dashboards, pages. Pages is something that we will discuss during visualization. In each dashboard, you can go ahead and add pages for yourself and you can customize those pages according to your needs by use of widgets. Right. That's all your workspace looks like. What is a workspace? We need to understand. Do we have a workspace? A workspace is nothing but an allotted space for you inside the tool where you don't want to go and play around with your data and integrate the data. What does it mean? It basically means that you have the workspaces, which basically are nothing but placeholders or bifurcations which you have. You can create it for the advertiser, for customer, for agency, however you want to. But you want to designate a certain block of space or certain space within Datorama whereby you can go ahead and put your data in and you can create it, name it, and you can basically help it separate from your other clients, brands, advertisers. As you can see that workspaces can be created based on many things, like workspaces can be created using for customers. You'd see customer 1, customer 2, customer 3. You can create the workspace based on the brands that you're working with. You can create the customers' workspaces for bifurcating the marketing agencies that are there for advertisers and on and forth. That's how you basically go ahead and bifurcate your workspace. Workspaces can be of many types and many forms, and you can name them accordingly for your needs. Oh, one more thing, Isri, let's talk of access prior to that. When we were talking about access, workspace level accesses can be defined by an admin. You can, in a workspace as well, if you have access, access can be of many types. An admin basically has edit accesses. He or she can add or remove users from the workspace, give workspace level accesses. Then there are access. There are access like partner accesses, analyst accesses, and on power user access. All these different user access have different levels of access to the workspace, whereby some may be able to integrate data and delete them. Some may be capable of only viewing the data, and then some may be only viewing some parts of the workspace as well. I've seen a client. I've worked with a client pretty early in my freelance. I do work on projects and freelancers as well. Also, for one of my freelance clients, I've seen that they had provided me with I guess that's called a power user, whereby I could only see, a certain portion of the data. Like I didn't see the connect and mix tab only because they didn't want to show me how they are integrating their data because I'm a third party person, right? They don't want to. But then eventually, when things got screwed up, they had to give me the connect and mix and harmonize the data. But then that's a separate story. What we are discussing is access can be of many ways. And access to a workspace doesn't mean you have all the rights of moving around with the components of data. But then there must be an admin who is giving you with specific instructions, specific accesses, specific to your role. We are here. Connect and Mix is the first tab that we are talking about. Connect and Mix helps you to connect your data and all the questions that we have taken, which starts from Connect and Mix right. Connect and Mix tab basically will help you to integrate all your data, to integrate all your Excel files, to get your data from FTPs and SFTPs and schedule them in FTPs and SFTPs, to get your email level data, to get your external data versus to get your internal data in forms of APIs. Because I have seen most of the APIs to be there as part of Datorama, whereby you can sign up with any of the APIs and you can get your data from the APIs and you can schedule them for automation. Datorama is another, it's meant for automation. It is meant for working on simultaneous projects with seamless operational activity. Because what's the use of Datorama then? You know how Datorama charges you. Firstly, when we are talking of the user accesses, anyone who is aware of how Datorama charges us money. Not sure, but it might be worth 300 per month. No, no, no. I didn't ask for what is the amount. I did ask on what parameter does it charges. Actually, it's not at like user accesses is something else, but it charges you at a role level. How many roles you have in your operational activities, how Datorama charges. When you take out the Datorama access, it basically designates you with certain amount of roles. And then furthermore, if you need to use further more roles, you need to give role level money to Datorama. It basically charges you for every role. Now you understand how pricey the tool is. It is pretty pricey. Now what we and why are all these harmonizations? Why are we talking about harmonization much? Because we want to reduce our role level costs. Whatever is relevant, keep that and don't keep your redundant data. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't. When you mean by that, do you don't mean that I can keep a repository from 2017 onwards? But you need to be your own judge that are you using your 2017 onwards per data? If yes, good, you need to pay. If you know and if you are using, and I'm very much sure a person never never uses historical data on a full aspect. When I say full aspect, you don't need your data modeling. You don't need your water flow or waterfall charts that it shows you a trend. Because if you are at 2022 and if you have not seen your trends since 2009, if you need to see your trend from 2017, that there's something wrong that's happening. And 2017 data may help you see or frame hypotheses to look at predictive analysis models or segment data or attribution models and see how different it is. But I'm sure, predominantly it's not being used. Now, if you're not using that, then go ahead and remove your redundant data. And you need to do that at every point of time. It has been saying that whatever tool, be it Datorama or be it any other, be jokingly, call it like you know, be it Datorama or be it Lakshmano, but ignore my joke. But then, be it any other tool, and you need to go ahead and remove the redundant data because that is something which takes you back. Also, you need to keep in mind that data on what charges you at a low level basis. I won't be keeping any of the redundant rows and I will be always keeping the ones which are necessary. For that data has provided you with certain harmonization techniques which helps you identify and get only the tailor-made data that is required for your workspace and for your client. Coming to client and connect and mix. Connect and mix helps you with connecting data across the various sources that are present. If we take this small slide, this is a part of the connectors view when you get your access, or if you already have your access, you can see the amount of the diversity of the data connectors present in Datorama that you can go ahead and utilize for yourself. Then there comes the APIs that are present. All these are APIs that are present in Datorama in form of Adobe Analytics, Adroll app, Nexus, Facebook, Google Analytics. When we take APIs and when we discuss about APIs, we will discuss about all these aspects and we will see how API can facilitate us and what is the difference between an API, regular API, which provides us with stuffs, differ from a custom API. And how does custom API helps us get things more or customized according to our needs? And what are the deficits in a regular API? And then there comes Total Connect. By the way, this visual that you see is from the old version of the data. I think nothing has changed. It's just that the look has changed. All these things remain. The look has changed for these, like how you see the interface. It has changed and nothing else has changed. All these options are the same, but the logo color and the position, all these things have differed a bit, not changed as well. It's basically upgrading your iOS from one to another. Now you see a visual label, change only, Total Connect. What does Total Connect do? Total Connect basically helps you connect all other data apart from your APIs. And you have sales data, your Prisma data, your email, sales offline, whatever is there in your mind, whatever you get from your account managers. Go ahead. What will connect in just this data from Total Connect and go ahead and do the modeling and you'll go to Datorama helps you with you when you are in, like in the connected mixed up, you have the data streams list with which basically helps you with the streets is don't worry about these things at all. That is the list. I will take it through an entire platform overview in the platform itself. But let me just show you what all of the things which are there. Data streams list, which basically gives you the list of all the data streams that are there. Data load rules, which basically helps you filter data prior to the data ingestion. And you can create rules to filter out data. Data mapping is something that is done, which is basically mapping the data. What is mapping the data? It's basically how your raw data comes in and merges with the already existing data on the model fields, not compromising the data modeling concept that is there. Oh, that's a tough sentence, right? Your raw data comes in and then later on has its own model fields present. It's how you map your left-hand side columns to the right-hand side columns, the left-hand side columns being the raw data columns versus the right-hand side columns, which basically are the data model fields. And how do you map them, and how do you map them correctly as for your data model and take them forward? That's basically data mapping. Deleting data. Data fusion is another activity that's done. What we don't have over here is harmonization center, which I'll take it as a part of the practical data classification. We have dimensions and measurements. Dimensions are nothing but the measurement is nothing but everything that is quantitative, right? Say, suppose your impressions, or say your clicks, or say your spend. These are these are some. These are the things which you can do, like addition, subtraction. You can multiply and stuffs you can do right with your data. It can be your income. It can be or like whatever, whatever is quantitative, which can be added, which can be subtracted, which can be multiplied, which can be divided. Something which is quantifiable, which is quantitative, is called a measurement. And similarly, dimensions are qualitative aspects of data, which basically gives you a qualitative things like your. Being an employee of a company, you have your employee ID, you have your age, you have your height, your weight, you have your. What is employee ID? Employee name. If you are a non-vegetarian or a vegetarian, your religious aspects, your religious beliefs. These are the things which are qualitative aspects of data, which defines you in terms of marketing, in terms of marketing data. We can talk of campaigns, we can talk of campaign IDs, we can talk of placements, placement IDs, brand names, country code, on and forth. Right? When you have the left hand part of the data, basically how it comes. Now, left hand can be the measurements as well. But generally we look at how we look at a report. If you have pulled a report, if you have not put a report as well, it generally starts with date. Right? Date is one of the dimensions that define that on what date was this row processed. Then comes your campaign. Then comes your campaign ID. Then comes your placement. Placement ID are groups, keywords. All these are qualitative ones. These cannot be added, subtracted. Another level of confusion happens when you try to, like think like, then I have employee ID, but then employee ID is a number. Definitely yes, but employee ID is not summable. Right? Being a number as well, it can be a dimension. right? Your age is, say, suppose you are a 25-year-old. That's not a summable like with another age. I don't want to sum it because I can. Your employee ID is 3210 and mine is 777. I can add these two together, but does it make sense to add two employee IDs? Do you get anything out of it? But do you get to know that 7777 is an idea of Winard? You do get it right. That oh, this is unique to him. It defines a qualitative way in a qualitative manner. How is a part of this organization? It's a dimension. It can be a number, but it is a dimension. However, things like impressions, click spend income, all these things are your share portfolio, your stocks portfolio, your mutual fund investments. All these basically can be summable. It tells a story. Your equity investment versus plus your mutual fund investment plus your, say, pension scheme investment plus your options and futures investment. All these summable to get, if I sum them together, I can say that's a Harsha. I can say that this is Harsha's portfolio. Harsha's portfolio consists of all these five things. And Harsha he is earning this as or his portfolio value is this much. But if I add Harsha's employee ID with my employee ID, with Rika's employee ID, with everyone's employee ID, it doesn't make sense, though it is a number. You need to understand what are dimensions. It is qualitative and measurements are quantitative. Coming to analyze and act. Analyze and act is nothing but the second tab in Datorama, which basically is an action center. Before we go ahead and visualize our stuffs, it basically has goals. It has scorecards. It has reports, pivot tables, etc. Now, today is the first day of the training. Till the time you work with Datorama, anything that goes out of Datorama goes in the form of a report where you can go and add everything for yourself. And when I say anything that goes out of Datorama doesn't mean that you go and map your data stream and download it and see. No, but any harmonized thing, anything like, for 5 data streams, what was the performance of such data source in the month of May? If that is the condition, then you need to bring that data out, right? And that is how you do through a report in Datorama. What is a report and how does it work? It's basically when you go to report, there is a column called name. You have the export format Excel, CSV, TSV, TXT, NGP, DF, PPD. However you want, you can export the report. There is a time period. You can choose the time period for yourself, like last 30 days, last whatever 10 days, this week, this year, this month, whatever it is. What are the measurements that I want to take out, like clicks, impressions, etc. Dimensions can be delivery, dimensions can be campaigns, etc. A campaign name or a campaign category, whatever you choose for yourself. And then now if you need this report, we need to export reports for some operations in Datorama. Suppose I want to see how the data is or what are, if the quality is correct, if I do need to do a random sampling of data, or there are operations like re-emergence. which is another important topic will be covered towards the last of the session. When we don't need to do emergence and things like that we need. What we need to do is we need to bring the data out in form of a report and feed it back. But then if that is a regular activity, we need to have a scheduler in mind. We have the frequencies. We have frequencies of daily, weekly, hourly, monthly. We can also set the delivery hour. We can also set the delivery hour in here. We can have the delivery method, email, FTP, SFTP, etc. And when you do that, you will see that you're under the tab of Report Scheduler. You will have a column which tells that the delivery method is email and the delivery detail of who will get the report daily is in a mode. And this person gets a notification and receives the report every whatever cadence has been set. Coming to the goals widget, we can set goals for ourselves. We can have single goal for all entities, goal ranges. We can set goals for the measurements. If you see a goal has been set, if you see the measurement is clicks, measurement type is summable, goal type is at least, we have two more options. When we are there, we will see it. At least means at least whatever is defined, whatever I want to see. When it reaches, say, suppose I tell that at least 100 clicks notify me. Whenever it reaches 100, it will notify me that yes, you have reached your goal. And now, if it goes beyond as well, like at least in between. If I tell that the other option is in between, we'll see when we are in the tool in between 100 to 200. When it is there, it will notify me or at least will notify me things like that. I can set a time period for my goal that between 1 to 20th July, I want to see the goal reach. If it reaches, notify me. If it doesn't, don't notify. Period, granularity, entire period, dimensions and measurements. If you want to like dimensions, if you want to define any, you can goal granularity on and forth. We'll take all these things. Don't worry. This is basically how you set your goal. It's basically 0 to 38, then red 38 to 99. It should be yellow 99 and above. It should be green. And you see that widget to your right, which is like 107%. It's marked as green. There is Action Center. Action Center basically helps you get all these notifications. Now you have set your goal, correct? Now you want to have your notifications. Notifications can come through emails. That's basically the most you know. Most goals are set when there are small goals. When there are one or two goals, basically comes from email. But then you want to keep the entire team of your optimization analytics team geared up that if this goal is met, then we are going to do something for that. You need your entire team to be doing it. And now, if the goal is met at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I need to send it back when I'm back in office tomorrow. And for that, you have third-party connectors like Twilio, Slack, Webhook, which basically notifies your entire group of colleagues immediately. Once you have reached your goal, and it notifies you using the third-party tools. And finally, we are at Visualize. Visualize is nothing but how your visuals look like. When you go to Visualize tab, you can see this is an all collection of all the dashboards. When you filter the dashboards, inside the dashboards, you can create pages. When you see 41 pages, 81, 18 pages, 33 pages, and all those things. You basically go ahead and create pages in your dashboards. These are the dashboards, and then the dashboard name over here is the spatial lenses. And all these are pages, right? All these inside the dashboard is pages called the various pages that you want to like. You know it can be split across, say search, search, social display. All these three are like three separate dashboards. Or you can have, in one view, you can have all your channel dashboards, and then all these pages can be for different brands together. You can have different brands dashboards in the different pages that you define for yourself. All these are examples of the various widgets in dashboards whereby you can see there are goals, sales goal, revenue goal, marketing goals. We are forecasting whereby we have total revenue versus marketing spend. And then we have these forecasted revenue and forecasted media insights that comes from Einstein, or you have to find it funded from your goals widgets. We have channel analysis. All these are widgets that you can create as part of the Datorama visuals where you can have your KPIs, trending and forecasting, marketing spend, digital advertising, share of digital advertising, etc. This is your workspace. How you create a widget basically is you go to the plus symbol, you drag something and then you put your measurements and dimensions for a bar graph. You can choose a bar graph. We will see this in some time. You can define your clicks and impressions and then you can create your bar graphs, your charts and whatever is there. User settings. Yes, this is something that comes for your workspace, whereby you have your training of your users, workspaces, rows, usage, global view of things, whereby in the users tab, you can define what is your user, who are you, and your admin can set your user credentials in there. And workspaces will allow you to workspace. Workspaces will allow you to if you're working for multiple projects, you can switch your workspace from the tab that you see from your user settings and you can switch to the different workspaces that you have access for. Right. That's all about. Please do share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.